What's going on, everyone? So something I want to talk about is a potential in-season tournament curse, right? Or, whatever you want to call it. We have now had 3 in-season tournaments, and every year we have seen the spiral after the championship game. So walk with me, right? First year, Lakers win, right? They played the Indiana Pacers. Lakers immediately spiral down and just go on like a crazy losing streak. I think they lost, 7 out of 8 or something crazy like that. And then Indiana, same thing. They spiraled out. The following year, it was the Thunder and the Milwaukee Bucks, right? Milwaukee started to spiral. They started to lose. All of a sudden, it's like, they're dealing with all these issues and stuff like that, all these question marks. The Thunder were the one team that actually maintained. They've kind of been the exception to the rule so far. But then you go this year, you had the Knicks and the Spurs. The Knicks are an absolute dumpster fire right now. Again, a month ago was the championship game. December 16th, right? A month ago was the championship game. The Knicks since then are on a 4-game losing streak. They're basically a game and a half back being a play-in team. And all of a sudden they don't like their coach because he was making out with Draymond on the sideline. And, he hasn't gotten the players to fully buy in. And they're trading Karl Anthony Towns, and the media and the fans and everybody's turning on the Knicks because they are absolutely spiraling right now. They're playing under 500 ball. They've only won 2 games in the month of January. 2 games. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games. And it's just been a mess, right? And they're the team that won the in-season tournament again, right? So you've seen the Lakers, the Bucks, and the Knicks. All 3 teams that have won spiraled immediately after, right? Even the Spurs. Yes, you look on the surface, the Spurs are, a team that you're like, okay, they're an exception of the rule also, right? They're, the 2 seed in the West still. They've been really good. No, they're playing 500 ball since then. Since that game against the Knicks, right, in which they lost, which doesn't actually count on the record. Right? They came in and they won 5 straight. Boom. And there was all that talk about the hype and stuff like that. And oh my gosh, they beat the Thunder 2 straight times after beating them in the NCAA tournament. Best team in basketball, right? Well, then they lost to the Jazz and the Cavs, beat the Knicks and the Pacers. Okay? Lost to the Blazers and the Grizzlies. So 2 losses, 2 wins. 2 losses, 2 wins. They lost to the Timberwolves and the Thunder, 2 losses. And time of recording this video, they beat the Bucks, the Timberwolves, and the Jazz. 3 wins, but they lost to the Rockets. A loss. So again, you're talking about they had that surge after losing to the Knicks, which, to be fair, they played the Wizards twice. The notable wins were the Thunder. Honestly, I think the Spurs issue is, I think they got a little big-headed after the Thunder's wins. Honestly, if I'm being honest, right, I don't think it has to do with the in-season tournament. Right? I think losing the in-season tournament was a good thing for the Spurs because they're a young team. Start to feel yourself, get that swagger a little bit, start to puff chest a little bit, all of that. Them losing gave them a little bit of a humble pie, which is good for a young team. Right? Keep that competitive fire, all of that. Well, then they come out, they start to get right back to business. They were a 7-game win streak. Because remember, the Knicks game doesn't count towards their wins and losses. So they were on a 7-game win streak. And then you go into the Thunder games and you beat the Thunder 2 straight times. And what was all the talk and narrative? It was, they're the best team in basketball. They got the best player. They have the Thunder's number. All this, and all of the gas just starts inflating that head. And you're just like, yeah, we are that, huh? And then since then, they've been a 500 team. Right? And luckily, there's several teams that they had a cushion, and 2, several of the teams in the Western Conference in particular have all kind of had the same struggles and stuff too. But still, it is worth noting that the Spurs, since the in-season tournament, have kind of had this bit of a nosedive. But it's really been, more than anything, the three champions of the in-season tournament, right, have all spiraled down after, have all had some major issues after, right? They went from a high, Lakers win it, oh my gosh, AD and LeBron, they're back, let's go, and then boom, spiral. And then, all of a sudden you go to the Bucks, again, same thing, oh my God, Giannis Antetokounmpo, we're back, Darvin Ham, still undefeated in the in-season tournament. Let's go. All that stuff, right? And then boom, spiraling. And then now you have the Knicks who won. And after the in-season tournament, boom, start to spiral. Could be a coincidence, right? I mean, look, the Lakers and the Bucks, as we saw in hindsight, were not good enough to win a champ. They weren't going anywhere, right? They weren't. Like, they won the in-season tournament. That was great. But they weren't good enough. They weren't going to win a champion. Like, they just weren't good enough those years. Right? And then, you look at the Knicks, who a lot of people think are good enough to win a championship this year. But maybe they're not. Right? Maybe it's just the way it's been. Maybe it's just been you have teams that are good, not great, that are able to win the in-season tournament because of the way it's formatted and it's single elimination. Anybody can beat anybody once. Right? And you just kind of have these kind of outlier, hey, this isn't going to happen regularly type thing, but it can happen in this type of environment. They end up winning, and then you start to see like, oh, they're really not that good, right? Like, there's this level of expectation because you won something. There's this level of like, hey, you should be this because you won something. And then they're not, and then it becomes this like, okay, so what seems to be the problem here type thing. So just something that I think is fascinating, something that I think is interesting, that I just wanted to kind of talk about and point out because, I do think it's at least something to kind of keep an eye on as years progress, right? It's something to kind of, again, we're basically 3 for 3 and teams that won the in-season tournament spiraling. It's the same year, like literally within a month. Right? Like this, it's not like, it's not like, oh yeah, they all won. And then, the following year where it's like, you're stretching it. No, literally within a month of winning the in-season tournament, all 3 of those teams just went, again, maybe it's a coincidence, but strange one, at least. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. If you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.